Hello everybody, Larry with the Homestead Way, and it is another nice November day, nice and overcasty Saturday, and we are going to do some Saturday chores. So a couple projects we need to do is obviously the daily chores of feeding all the animals, and then I've got to go work on my stupid lawnmower that keeps breaking on me. And then I think we're going to split some firewood. But first things first, let's get some pipe tobacco going. Yeah. So this is something, if you smoke a pipe, that you have to do on the regular, and that's clean it out because it gets all nasty and gunky after a while. And this pipe, my little fire dog, it likes to get gunked up really fast. I think the bent shape, whatever the heck it's called, versus the billiard shape, gunks up a lot faster because just like with a chimney or a wood burning stove, the more bends you have in it, the more creosote builds up. So I think the same kind of concept applies to this. All right, nice and clean. And with this pipe, really need to get a new one because you see that hole? That's from me clenching it in my teeth. So that's something you probably shouldn't do. Luckily, this is a cheaper pipe versus my like $120 Peterson. So try not to chew through that one. And today we'll be smoking some H.H. Mac Baron Burley Flake. All right, now that we got that taken care of, we gotta feed these chickens and the chickens that are in that. So the chickens that are in this tractor, we're hatched over here. And the chicken run that I have over there is not really built very well for chicks. I don't have any fine chicken wire going through, so they can just jump their little bodies through the fence and they'll have chickens everywhere. So I'm probably need to move these guys soon. So these guys are in a chicken tractor and I scoot them around the yard, and eventually I want to move them to where the pig is at, so we'll have more room, and clear that out, get that cleaned out, clear that out, get that cleaned out, and give the chickens a little bit of a better place, but one step at a time. So first we're going to feed them. So for the chicks, I feed them a non-GMO layer mash, and for the pig, I give her just non-GMO regular whole corn. Also with the pig, we normally have a 5-gallon bucket inside the house, and whatever food scraps we have, we dump it in there and then feed it to her too, and she likes them just fine. That almost was funny. All right, now it's time to get some corn for the hog. Now, the pig that we have, I think, is a miniature potbelly pig. I have no idea. We have no plans on eating her. She's just kind of a pet. So the pig's name is Lacey. Like I said, she's old. She's a good friend. So you can see right there. Just hanging out. Say hi to the internet, Lacey. You're gonna be famous. Good pig. All right. Alrighty. Now that we got that taken care of and out of the way, I'll put this bucket up and I'll go show you the garden. A couple months ago, I started working on the garden. I know right now it doesn't look like much, but we kind of changed plans and how we wanted to do things. So I had that ground plastic going up and down these rows. We decided against it because it wasn't killing the grass as fast as we wanted to for what we wanted to do. So we went through and planted this tiller radish. Now tiller radish is a radish, as you can see it, that has a very large taproot. So the soil here in Ohio is very clay based. So we need something to bust up the soil. So once that taproot goes down, it'll rot once the plant's done growing, adding nutrients to the soil and breaking things up. But we kind of learned a fun little lesson. Tiller radish likes to be watered when it's planted because we watered that and we only watered half of that. And it's kind of piddly and sporadic through there. And also the neighbor's chickens kept getting into the garden and pecking on the seeds. So I'm sure that didn't help. So time to come up and go mess with this stupid lawnmower. So this lovely thing, my commercial V-twin, 24.5 horsepower Toro time cutter, 60-inch zero turn, is a flaming piece of junk. At least I think it is. So I need to check the carburetor on this because I did all kinds of mowing and then it just decided to die on me. So I'm going to try starting it up and I'm going to, might have to pull the carburetor, clean it out, and see what we got going on in there. I'm trying to blow myself up smoking a pipe and playing with gas components. Oh crap. You know, it's stuff like this that always bugs me. Let me guess, this thing's absolutely dead because I didn't turn the ignition switch off. Ah, crap. Well, in classic fashion, the mower battery's dead. So, there's only one thing to do now. Jumper cable time. And now we wait. Alright, so let's see what we can do. By the way, I lost the key for this a long time ago, but can't open on a multi-tool, but it's fine. Make sure everything's good. Okay. Alright, well that's a good start. So probably what I'm going to do is back the truck up, pull the carburetor off, go ahead and check through it really fast. What this mower had been doing is how it just went and then it died. And then it didn't even act like it wanted to start over or turn over. It just kept slowly bogging down. So I'm gonna check the carburetor, but I mainly just wanted to get the battery somewhat charged up. So I'm gonna leave it on here for a few minutes, back the truck up and go ahead and take the carburetor off. Okay, so I got the truck backed up. I gotta take a couple components off and then pull this is not the carburetor, it's the exhaust manifold. And pull the carburetor off, see what's going on. I think I got some carb cleaner over in the workshop next door and get this cleaned up. And I'm gonna put my phone on the charger because it's about to die. So I'm gonna pull another little Andy's little Homestead and have this off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, here we go. So I got the carburetor off. This is the fuel float. You've got your fuel jets, and you got your inlet and outlet ports. So, in theory, when you blow through these, you should have a free flow through the jets. Now on this one, this top port, we got a bit of an obstruction. I think I may have just sucked it out. I'm not even kidding. You probably can't see it well, that little black speck. I think that's what my problem maybe was. I'm not much of a small engine mechanic, but this is one of the things I've talked about with just working on things and experimenting. You gain experience by going into uncharted territories to be able to take care of things that you wouldn't know how to do otherwise. Things like a small engine's a great way to get into engine work because they're pretty simple. You got fuel, air, fire, and you're good to go. There's not a whole bunch of sensors. There's not a bunch of craziness. It's just super bare bones minimum. Being able to do stuff like this will save your butt down the road if you've got bigger equipment, and so make it so you don't have to pay so many big mechanic bills. So we're gonna get this cleaned up and put it back together. All right, so I got that all back together. Let's see if it actually did anything. And if it didn't do anything, I'm gonna move on to something else because this thing just makes me mad. So it'll probably take a couple times to fire it over because the carburetor is flat empty of fuel, but I guess we shall see. Dead battery. Again. All right, but patience is the key when you're working on stuff like this. So we'll get it. Hey, I got it. So let me get away from the noise a little bit. So what the main problem was is the carburetor was clogged up, and I tried to get it to start over, and I didn't realize I didn't rehook up my linkages on the throttle and the choke, so that's why it didn't start over. Anyway, mower is running up and going now, so I think I'm gonna go do some mowing. Let's get her done. Well, got started mowing. Didn't even make it into the yard. Mower died. Well, I guess I'm gonna try to charge this thing up again and get it going. I at least like to do a couple of passes to let myself know that I got this thing fixed, but 'tis the joys of using equipment on the house or around the house. Crap breaks, you got to overcome it. So let's get this thing charged back up and see what we can do. Well, I got the mowing done, so I went and mowed the in-laws property, and probably sometime this weekend I'll hit our property again. But man, equipment can be very frustrating, especially if you don't know what's happening with it, or especially I guess it's worth if you know what's happening with it and it takes forever to get into what you got to do with it. Especially with taking that carburetor apart, because I feel like I've taken that thing apart 4 or 5 times now, and it's a little annoying. Janky truck bed. So I'm gonna get the truck cleaned up, and then we're gonna move on to something else. All right, it's getting pretty cold out right now. Just littles and chonk, thick boy. We're gonna split some of this firewood up for the fire pit, and then we're gonna call it a day. Sun's starting to go down. Starting to get a little chilly. So let's get warmed up by splitting some wood. Well, there's something about splitting firewood. It's very therapeutic, even though I'm not the best at it. I don't have the exact best setup for it. Something that's very therapeutic. Like I said, even if you're not the best at it, I'm just gonna be honest, this is kind of hard to do. There we go. Off the ground. You're totally disconnected from technology unless you're listening to something on your phone. And it's just nice and peaceful. And to think that this used to be a big part of everyday life for people. Chopping up wood to heat the home. Luckily enough, we have chainsaws, so it's not like you have to go out with a crosscut saw and chop down trees. But especially with splitting firewood, it gives you a sense of pride, respect. Obviously, it's very physically challenging, but it's very rewarding. Because you know that someday this wood is going to be used for people to enjoy a nice warm fire, even if it's just outside in a fire pit, where people will be able to just sit, talk, enjoy each other's company, and fellowship with one another. And I feel like that's missing nowadays. Everyone's so connected on their phones and disconnected from each other that we lost the ability just to talk. That we've lost the ability to express ideas, communicate, care for one another. Men don't know how to work hard anymore, it seems. Everything that I've done today, I technically didn't have to do. I could have waited for someone else to mow. I could have taken the mower to a shop. But I took care of it myself. And just because I don't have all the crazy homestead stuff, doesn't mean that stuff's important. I'm very much looking forward to expanding our homestead in the future. Whew. And getting more animals. more responsibilities, and be able to be more self-sufficient. So if you're having a rough day and you have the ability to, find some logs to split. Try not to kill someone while you're doing it too. There we go. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking around as long as you have. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Like, share, subscribe, and you all take it easy.